The scene is a professional disaster unfolding in slow motion. On a live BBC World News broadcast, renowned Filipino linguistics professor Dr. Lani Cortez is discussing the global adoption of the Filipino English standard in international tech support and education. Her English is impeccable, grammatically flawless, articulate, and delivered with the clear, measured cadence that defines the gold standard. The anchor, a familiar face named Jeremy Vance, is conducting the interview from London. Vance, who speaks with a thick, rapid, almost mumbled regional English accent, is clearly perplexed by the conversation. He cannot grasp that his own native dialect is the source of the global confusion the Filipino standard is solving. Vance attempts to be clever and, in doing so, reveals his deep-seated prejudice. After Dr. Cortez explains how Filipino articulation prioritizes consonant sounds and pure vowels to eliminate ambiguity, Vance decides to mock it. He interrupts with a condescending smile. "Dr. Cortez, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but we have to be honest. That precise sound you're describing, the measured pace, the careful articulation of every single syllable, it sounds a bit academic, doesn't it? A bit stiff. It's not natural, is it? Not like a native speaker. It sounds like you're reading from a grammar textbook, not having a conversation." Vance finishes with a chuckle, expecting Dr. Cortez to join him in self-deprecation. He made a critical error. He attacked the very foundation of Filipino professional pride, their hard-won mastery and precision of the language. Dr. Cortez's expression hardens. She is not offended. She is intellectually offended by the ignorance. She knows this is her moment to elevate the conversation from a casual insult to a global linguistic lesson. The camera holds tight on her face. The silence that follows is deafening. She prepares her counterattack, which will expose the weakness of the so-called native standard. Dr. Cortez smiles, a sharp academic smile that carries no warmth. "Mr. Vance, you raise an excellent point about the perceived stiffness of our articulation. But let's clarify what that stiffness actually is. It is not a lack of fluency, it is linguistic quality control. When you, as a native speaker, use contractions like gonna or wanna and shift your vowel sounds according to your regional dialect, you are engaging in linguistic shortcuts that confuse billions of non-native speakers globally. Your natural conversation is highly inefficient for international commerce, medicine, and engineering," she continues, driving the point home with forensic precision. "Our English, which you describe as academic, is designed for maximum universality and minimum ambiguity. The reason we articulate every syllable is so that a Korean engineer, a German manager, or an Indian programmer can understand the instructions perfectly. Your fast, regional, slang-ridden style is inefficient, exclusive, and increasingly recognized as the liability in global business. My job is not to sound natural like you. My job is to sound correct to the world. And in that, the Filipino standard is demonstrably superior." The anchor's face is a study in shock. He has been professionally dismantled. This moment of quiet, dignified defense of Filipino intellect is why this story needs to be told. If you're a true, full-blooded Filipino who carries the spirit of Puso in your chest, show your support and subscribe to this channel right now. Join us to celebrate the victory of Filipino intellect over casual Western prejudice. The camera switches back to Jeremy Vance, who is fumbling for a response, struggling with the unexpected reversal of power. He attempts to pivot by suggesting that the Filipino style lacks emotional tone. "But Dr. Cortez, language is about poetry, tone, and connection. Doesn't that overly technical precision take the soul out of the language?" Dr. Cortez expertly parries the attack. "Mr. Vance, the soul of our language is not in its slang, it is in its clarity and its puso. When a Filipino nurse communicates vital medical information to a patient, that clarity is compassion. When a Filipino project manager uses precise language to prevent a $100 million logistical error, that precision is professional devotion. We do not need slang to inject tone. Our tone is carried by the inherent respect and empathy we bring to the communication process. We blend the technical demands of the language with the human demands of communication." She then delivers the fatal blow concerning his own accent. "Furthermore, Mr. Vance, while you criticize our academic style, your own regional accent carries significant cultural baggage. It's often associated with politics, class, and bias. Our non-native standard, precisely because it is non-regional, is perceived globally as objective, neutral, and most importantly, trustworthy. The world is tired of accents that carry an agenda. They want clarity, and we provide the antidote to your native linguistic chaos. The anchor is silenced, his own regional speech exposed as a liability. The global audience is witnessing a complete intellectual and linguistic reversal. The gold standard has just publicly defeated the regional dialect. The segment concludes by focusing on the massive global shift the anchor failed to grasp. Dr. Cortez explains that the demand for the Filipino standard is now dictating the terms of engagement in critical fields. She cites the explosion of the BPO sector, noting that the Philippines leads not on cost, but on communication quality. She highlights how AI development teams prefer to train synthetic voices on the Filipino phonetic model because of its superior consistency and predictability compared to chaotic native dialects. The truth, Mr. Vance, Dr. Cortez concludes, looking directly at the camera with dignified finality, is that you are criticizing a successful product based on outdated cultural nostalgia. The professional world needed an English that was a reliable tool, not a cultural inheritance loaded with exceptions and slang. We perfected that tool. When native speakers like yourself stop relying on shortcuts and start prioritizing global comprehension, you will naturally begin to sound more like us. The Filipino English you mocked is not the sound of a country reading a textbook. It is the sound of the future of global competence. And that future is already here. The broadcast immediately cuts away from a flustered Vance, leaving the audience with the powerful reality of the Filipino intellectual victory. The mockery backfired completely, serving only to validate the superior professional standard of Filipino English.